Hello Americans channel. This video is made by free videos from Storyblocks, and these images and video we use just for explanation, and it's free use also.
Scientists find unknown animal in dried up river, then they realize what it. The heat had been unforgiving in Cape Town, South Africa for months. It was a summer like no other, where the sun scorched the earth daily. And this heat had large-scale consequences. The Black River, as it was called, which ran straight through the city, was drying up faster every day. And with it came severe problems. After about a month, the dry concrete and dirt floor of the river became visible, which caused a multitude of problems. Irrigation channels flowed from these waters, feeding farmlands next to the river. The river even cooled the turbines of nearby factories, which now all needed to be shut down for fear of overheating. After a while, crops died and people became more restless with each passing day. Local officials were flooded with complaints, water restrictions, livestock deaths in the baths, and the constant hum of air conditioning units failing in the heat became the new standard. And among these alerts, one peculiar one kept coming back. It wasn't a mundane request or complaint like the others, but more of an observation, apparently one made by many. Someone claimed to have seen something massive moving in the newly exposed riverbed. Of course, the incoming call was brushed off initially since the news sounded more like a prank call than anything else. The drought had sparked tensions, and people were bound to imagine things, the authorities reasoned. Yet the callers were insistent, as well as consistent. Their voices all held a mixture of fear and certainty. They described a creature the length of a truck, gray and glistening in the sunlight, its scaled body moving across the dried silt. By the ninth call, this one from a local farmer who swore on his late mother's grave, the authorities had begun to take notice. The farmer claimed to have seen the creature himself while walking the riverbank at dusk. "I tell ya, it's no gator," he had said, voice shaking. "It's too damn big. Never seen anything like it." The Black River had always been a steady presence in the lives of those who lived up. Stretching for miles, it provided water, fish, and other necessities. But now that its belly was exposed, it revealed secrets that had been hidden under 12 feet of water for years. And not all of these secrets were pleasant. More calls came in, each more desperate than the last. A pair of hikers claimed they captured grainy footage of the creature's shadow as it slithered across the dried mud. A retired teacher reported hearing strange guttural noises one night, echoing across the empty riverbed. "It sounded angry and dark, unlike anything I've heard before," she told the dispatcher. By the time the 15th report was logged, the local police chief could no longer ignore the situation. A team was assembled, 2 officers, a local park ranger, and 4 university biologists to seek out the site and give answers regarding this strange supposed creature. They agreed to investigate, though skepticism lingered. They set out just after dawn, before the rest of the city had woken up from its slumber. They didn't want anyone interfering after all. As they approached the riverbank, their faces saddened. The crackling of dried plant roots underfoot gave the soundtrack to the dire situation in front of them. "This place is dying," one scientist sadly explained. The team fell silent as they descended into the riverbed. The river floor stretched out before them, a vast expanse of cracked mud and scattered stones. It was eerily still, save for the faint rustle of wind through the now exposed corridor. The biologists scanned the terrain wide-eyed while the officers exchanged uneasy glances. Then a movement, a ripple across the mud, caught their attention. Something was there, and it was massive. The police officers were the first ones to respond to the movement, since their job was to be on watch while the scientists did their analysis. "What was that?" both officers said while looking around frantically. The police officers were the first to respond to the movement, adrenaline instantly overtaking them. They sprinted toward the ripple in the mud while the rest of the team trailed close behind. As they neared, they saw a massive shadow dart past the crumbling concrete walls of the river and shoot into one of the city's exposed sewage tunnels. The gaping tunnel loomed ominously before them, normally submerged under several feet of water. "Did you see that?" one officer exclaimed, his voice alarmingly sharp. The team halted at the tunnel's edge, staring into the dark abyss. A faint, fetid breeze wafted out, carrying the metallic scent of damp stone and decay. The park ranger scanned the area while one of the biologists muttered, "What the hell was that thing?" No one had an answer. The team's eyes darted around, hoping for another glimpse of the shadow. Instead, the silence was broken only by the crackling of mud beneath their boots and the distant hum of the city waking up. The police officers exchanged glances, and unspoken communication passed between them. "We have to follow it," one finally decided. The other nodded grimly, his grip tightening on his weapon. The scientists protested at first. They normally didn't find themselves in the middle of the action. They were usually called in after safety measures were established. "Going in there without knowing what we're dealing with is reckless," one of them argued. The ranger, however, sided with the officers. If we don't investigate now, we might lose any chance of finding it, she reasoned. After a tense debate, the group agreed. Flashlights clicked on, their beams cutting through the pitch darkness of the tunnel ahead. With their hearts pounding, they stepped into the sewage system. The air grew cooler, colder, and more oppressive quickly, and the stench intensified with each step. The sound of their footsteps echoed loudly in the confined space, a reminder of how far removed they were from the open world above. Even the officers, trained for high-pressure situations, felt their nerves fraying in the oppressive atmosphere. "Stay close," one officer instructed, his voice low but firm. The beam of his flashlight swept across the slimy walls, revealing graffiti, moss, and strange marks etched into the concrete. The team exchanged uneasy glances but pressed on, curiosity outweighing their fear for now. The biologists whispered to each other as they walked, theorizing in hushed tones about the creature's origins. "It's not any species native to this region," one murmured. "But the size, it's almost prehistoric." The ranger, walking ahead, held up her hand suddenly. "Quiet," she said. Everyone froze, straining their ears. A low, guttural growl reverberated through the tunnel, sending a chill down their spines. The officers moved forward cautiously, their flashlights casting flickering shadows on the tunnel walls. The growl grew louder as they advanced, accompanied by a wet, dragging sound. It was unlike anything they'd heard before. The team's pace slowed as their breathing quickened. They reached a bend in the tunnel and hesitated. One officer motioned for silence, gesturing for the group to stay back. He peeked around the corner, seeing a split in the pathway that slightly relieved tension. "If we go left, we move deeper into the tunnel, and on the right is another exit that leads back to the river." He knew they had to go deeper to find the source of the sound, but knowing that another exit was close, and they could escape quickly if necessary, was a big relief, even for this seasoned officer. And this exit couldn't have come at a better time, because seconds later they were forced to use it. A loud roar was heard, and for a split second, the officer thought he saw movement straight up ahead, a glint of scales, and a flash of something impossibly large. The growls ceased, replaced by an eerie silence. But then panic sunk in when the roar returned with a vengeance, immediately after, and bolted straight for them. The officers could only give one right answer at that point. They both turned toward the group and pointed at the sewage exit on the right. "Run!" they shouted as everyone's footsteps quickened at the same time. The roaring sound edged closer and closer, even though the group was at full speed. The group's frantic footsteps echoed through the sewage tunnel as they sprinted toward the exit, their flashlights bobbing wildly. The oppressive stench and darkness didn't concern the group anymore, only the footsteps behind them getting closer. "Run as fast as you can," one scientist said to his mate while pushing him forward. The growl of the unseen creature reverberated closer. Hearts pounded in unison within the group, a single thought driving them forward: escape. The tunnel seemed to stretch endlessly in their minds, every step feeling like a lifetime. In actuality, it was only around 150 feet, but you can imagine their internal panic. The exit came within reach, a faint circle of sunlight that grew larger as they neared. The officers urged the team on, their voices sharp and urgent. "Move, move, move," they shouted. Adrenaline surging as the guttural roar behind them grew louder. The sound of something massive scraping against concrete spurred them on, lungs burning with exertion. One by one, they scrambled out of the tunnel, the harsh sunlight blinding them momentarily. The last officer turned, aiming his flashlight into the darkness one final time before leaping out himself. The group collapsed onto the cracked riverbed, gasping for air at a reasonable distance from the tunnel's exit. The relentless heat enveloped them again, a stark contrast to the cool confines of the tunnel. The sun had fully risen now, casting long shadows across the desolate landscape. The group's wide eyes darted back toward the tunnel's entrance, their bodies tensed and ready to flee again. Then the tunnel finally showed them signs of what was inside. The creature emerged slowly from the darkness, its massive frame glinting in the harsh sunlight. The group froze, their collective breaths catching as they beheld the source of their terror for the first time. It was a monstrous-scale behemoth, unlike anything they had imagined. Not even the biologists could form words. The animal suddenly didn't seem interested in following them, though. The moment the warm sunlight hit its scaly back, it slowed down its movement until it finally lay down in the center of the dried-up riverbed. The animal patrol crew did shoot it with a few tranquilizer darts just to be sure, though. Then the investigation could commence. The scientists were brought in to identify the creature and determine its origin, why it was there, and what to do next once they knew everything. The team of 4 white robe biologists stepped closer while looking at the ranger's approving face to make sure it was asleep. "All right, let's do this," one of them finally dared to say. The scientists approached the creature cautiously, their tools and notebooks in hand. Up close, the sheer size of the animal was overwhelming. Its scales, thick and overlapping like armor, shimmered faintly under the relentless sun. One scientist ran a hand gently across its back, marveling at the texture. "This is no ordinary crocodile," she whispered. Careful not to startle the tranquilized creature, the team began their examination. Its powerful limbs, ending in clawed feet, hinted at a creature built for both swimming and terrestrial movement. They measured its length, a staggering 24 feet. "It's larger than any known crocodilian," one of them noted, eyes wide with disbelief. The animal's body temperature also baffled the scientists. While most reptiles are ectothermic and rely on external heat sources, this creature's temperature was abnormally high, even for the scorching environment they were in. Could it have an advanced metabolic system? One biologist speculated. "It's like it's engineered for survival in extreme conditions." A small tracking chip was implanted into the animal's thick hide. The ranger supervised the team as they worked meticulously. "This way we can monitor its movements once it's relocated," the lead biologist explained. The chip would allow them to collect data on the creature's behavior and ensure it posed no further threat to urban areas. Arrangements were swiftly made to transport the creature to a remote nature reserve, far from human habitation. A specialized team arrived with reinforced equipment, carefully lifting the tranquilized animal onto a transport vehicle. The scientists followed closely, ensuring its safety throughout the journey. "This habitat should suit it perfectly," the ranger said confidently. The reserve was an untouched wilderness, lush with vegetation and teeming with wildlife. The animal was gently released into a shallow lake, its new home. It stirred briefly as the tranquilizers wore off, but showed no signs of aggression. Slowly, it slipped into the water, its massive frame vanishing beneath the surface. Back at the lab, the team eagerly awaited the results of the DNA analysis. Samples taken from the creature's blood and scales were studied in detail. The initial findings were extraordinary. "This isn't just a larger crocodile," one scientist exclaimed. "It's an entirely new species. This could rewrite what we know about crocodilian evolution." The creature's unique features were likely the result of decades, if not centuries, of adaptation. The thick, shield-like scales and heightened body temperature suggested it had evolved to withstand harsh environments. This heat wave might have exposed it, but its lineage has likely survived undetected by humans for generations, one scientist hypothesized. The discovery sent ripples through the scientific community. The team published preliminary findings, sparking global interest. "Its genetic makeup shows mutations we've never seen before," the report read. "The species is a testament to nature's ability to adapt and endure, even in the face of extreme conditions. It is astonishing." Monitoring the creature's movements in the reserve revealed fascinating behavior as well. It appeared to be a solitary predator, hunting efficiently without disturbing the ecosystem. It only takes what it needs. The scientists marveled at its adaptability. "It's thriving," the ranger reported during a follow-up visit. The reserve might be the perfect place for it. The creature's presence also highlighted the importance of preserving natural habitats all around the world. "If the Black River hadn't dried up, we might never have known it existed," one biologist remarked. "How many other secrets lie hidden beneath the surface?" The discovery reignited discussions on conservation and climate resilience. Weeks later, the team's initial theories were confirmed as the DNA results were finalized. The creature was indeed a new species of crocodile, tentatively named Crocodilus solaris by the team who found it. "It's a fitting name," the lead scientist said, paying homage to the sun under which it was revealed. Rain eventually returned, quenching the parched landscape in South Africa. The Black River swelled once more, bringing life back to the farmlands and cooling the city. Yet the memory of the uncovered riverbed, its mysterious inhabitant, lingered. "Nature has its ways of reminding us who's truly in charge," the ranger mused. The creature remained in its new home, monitored but left undisturbed by everyone. Its health and activity were signs of resilience, a living testament to adaptation and survival. "This is the start of a new chapter in our understanding of life on Earth," the lead biologist stated during a press briefing. For the people of Cape Town, the heat wave had been a trial of endurance, but it also brought a sense of wonder. The discovery of Crocodilus solaris became a symbol of hope and curiosity. "Even in hardship, there are discoveries to be made," a local official said. "The world is full of surprises." As the city recovered, the scientists continued their research, which would last for years, analyzing the creature's data and its role in the ecosystem. "This isn't the end," one biologist said with a smile. "It's only the beginning of understanding a species that has lived among us, unseen and unknown until now." the Black River's secret had been revealed, not just as a warning of climate's impact, but as a reminder of nature's enduring mysteries beneath the surface. The creature thrived again, the river flowed again, and life in Cape Town returned back to normal. But everyone was forever marked by the summer of discovery.